Cute Kids TV.
Welcome to Cute Kids TV. Hey curious kids, have you ever spotted a tiny, fuzzy creature buzzing from flower to flower and wondered what it's doing? Or maybe you've tasted sweet, golden honey and thought, where does this come from? Well, you're about to find out in the most beautiful adventure ever. Today, we're diving into the amazing world of bees. They're small, they're fuzzy, they're buzzy, and they're super important. Bees aren't just flying around for fun. They have jobs to do, secrets to reveal, and mysteries to uncover. So grab your explorer hats and a honey snack because we're about to fly into a buzzing adventure with one of the planet's most magical insects, the bee. What exactly is a bee? Bees are flying insects known for two big things, making honey and their sting. But wait, did you know there are over 20,000 kinds of bees around the world? That's more than all the types of birds and mammals combined. In North America alone, you can find over 3,500 different species, but the one most people know best is the western honeybee, famous for buzzing in gardens and making that golden honey we love to drizzle on pancakes. What do bees look like? Picture this, a tiny creature with a fuzzy body, wings that move faster than the eye can see, and black and yellow stripes like a tiny flying tiger. That's your average bee, but not all bees are honeymakers. In fact, more than 90% of bee species don't even make honey or live in big hives. These independent insects are called solitary bees. Some cool solitary bees include mason bees that build nests with mud, increter bees that snip bits of leaves, bumblebees who are big, fluffy, and full of charm. These little loners may not live in buzzing colonies, but they're superheroes when it comes to pollinating plants.
The incredible bee body! Let's zoom in!
Like all insects, a bee's body is made of three main parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. On its head, the bee has two big, sparkling compound eyes. These help it see movement and patterns. But wait, there's more! 3 tiny, simple eyes are also hidden on top of its head. That's right, bees have 5 eyes. Can you imagine seeing the world through 5 peepers? The antennae on their heads are like magic wands. They help bees smell, feel vibrations, and even communicate with other bees. Inside the bee's mouth is something amazing, a proboscis. It's a long, bendy straw that bees use to slurp up sweet nectar from flowers. Wings, legs, and super bee strength. The middle part of the bee, the thorax, is where the wings and legs are attached. Bees have 2 pairs of wings, which flap so fast you can barely see them, sometimes up to 200 times a second. With 6 legs, each ending in tiny claws, bees can grab onto flowers, climb petals, and walk around their hive like busy workers. These legs even have tiny baskets to carry pollen. Beware the stinger! The final part of a bee's body is the abdomen. It holds the bee's stomach, organs, and one very important tool, the stinger. If a bee feels threatened, it may sting to protect itself or its hive. The stinger is like a sharp needle that injects venom to scare off enemies. But not all bees sting easily. Bumblebees, for example, are gentle giants and usually don't sting unless really bothered. A flower buffet. Let's follow a bee as it buzzes over a colorful garden. It spots a blooming flower. Perfect! It lands, wiggles in, and uses its proboscis to slurp up sweet nectar like a straw in a milkshake. This nectar goes into a special honey stomach, separate from its real stomach. There, it starts to turn into honey. Isn't that cool? But nectar isn't the only thing the bee collects. As it dances from flower to flower, it also gets covered in pollen. This dusty yellow powder sticks to its fuzzy body and is passed along to the next flower it visits. This is called pollination, and it's how many plants grow fruit and seeds. Without bees, we'd have fewer apples, strawberries, and even chocolate.
Now that you've met the bee family, let's zoom in on the star of the hive, the honeybee. These bees are truly special. While only a few types of bees make honey, honeybees make lots, and people have been loving it for thousands of years. Way back in ancient times, the Egyptians used honey for food, medicine, and even as offerings to the gods. The Greeks thought bees were magical creatures that carried the soul. Isn't that poetic?
As humans explored and built civilizations, they brought honeybees with them. In Europe, people began beekeeping, learning how to raise honeybees in wooden boxes called hives. When settlers traveled to the Americas, they brought their bees with them, and honey soon became a big part of farming and trade. A honeybee hive is like a buzzing city. There's a queen bee who lays all the eggs, thousands of worker bees who clean, build, and collect food, and drones, male bees whose only job is to mate with the queen. Inside the hive, bees build hexagon-shaped wax cells called honeycombs. These cells are used to store nectar, pollen, and baby bees. The shape isn't just pretty, it's super strong and saves space. Worker bees communicate by dancing. Yep, dancing! The waggle dance is a special wiggle that tells other bees where to find flowers. Bees can beelie up to 15 miles per hour, diminish then over 100 flowers in one trip, pretend to different types of flowers from far away. Their tiny brains may be small, but bees can recognize faces, solve problems, and even learn tricks. Scientists say bees are some of the smartest insects on Earth. You might be wondering, why are bees such a big deal? Well, without bees, many of the foods we love wouldn't exist. Bees help pollinate over 1/3 of the crops we eat. From fruits and veggies to nuts and seeds, bees are like nature's gardeners, making sure our world stays green and delicious. But here's the buzzkill. Bees are in danger. Pollution, pesticides, and loss of flowers are making it hard for bees to survive. That's why we need to help. You don't need to be a beekeeper to be a bee helper. Here's what you can do. Plant flowers and trees that bees love, like sunflowers, lavender, and clover. Don't use harmful chemicals in your garden. Leave a little dish of water with pebbles for thirsty bees to rest on. Learn more about bees and tell your friends. Here's why how much these tiny insects do for the world. From pollinating plants to making honey, bees are true heroes of nature. They may be small, but their impact is huge. Fastball the next time you hear a gentle buzz in the air. Smile and say, "Thank you, bee." Don't forget to like, subscribe, and buzz the bell icon for more exciting animal adventures right here on Cute Kids TV. Stay sweet and keep buzzing, little explorers. Previously on Cute Kids TV, we buzz through the magical world of bees, learning how they gather nectar, make honey, and help flowers grow through pollination. But guess what? The adventure doesn't stop there. Today, we're flying even deeper into the hive to discover how honeybees live together, work as a team, and face big challenges in the modern world. Let's get buzzing! For centuries, humans have known just how valuable honeybees are, not just for their sweet honey, but for their superpower, pollination. Today, honeybees are considered one of the most important parts of the global ecosystem. And here's the coolest part, they're social insects. That means honeybees don't live alone. Instead, they live in huge families called colonies, and these colonies live in places called hives. Each hive is a buzzing city full of thousands of bees all working together. Every single bee has a role to play and everyone knows their job. Isn't that incredible? The hive is built from wax made by the bees themselves. Can you imagine building your own house from scratch with wax? Inside, you'll find rows and rows of perfectly shaped hexagonal cells. These six-sided shapes aren't just pretty, they're strong, efficient, and perfect for storing honey and raising baby bees. The hive protects the colony from rain, wind, predators, and other dangers. It's a safe, warm place where the bee family can grow and thrive. At the heart of the hive is the queen bee. Her royal job? Laying eggs. She can lay thousands of eggs in her lifetime. All the worker bees are girls too, just like the queen. They're super busy doing all sorts of jobs like gathering food, feeding babies, cleaning the hive, and guarding the entrance. But what about the boy bees? They're called drones. Their one and only job is to mate with the queen. That's it. After that, their job is done. In a healthy hive, each bee knows what to do. The teamwork and cooperation are what keep the colony buzzing strong. Since a giant bee family needs lots of food, one of the most important tasks is collecting nectar from flowers. That job goes to the worker bees, who fly from flower to flower with amazing speed and accuracy. When they return to the hive, they do something a little funny. They regurgitate the nectar into the honeycomb. Sounds icky? Maybe, but it's how honey begins. Other bees then fan their wings to dry out the water in the nectar, slowly turning it into delicious, thick honey. Once it's ready, they seal it inside wax-covered cells, like golden treasure chests. Honey isn't just for grown-up bees, it's also food for the baby bees, or larvae. Worker bees take care of these little ones, feeding them and keeping them warm and safe until they're ready to grow up and take their place in the hive. This care is part of what makes the hive such a beautiful community. Everyone looks after each other. Did you know bees have air conditioning? Not with machines, but with their wings. Inside the hive, worker bees are always flapping their wings. This creates a breeze that keeps the hive cool, especially on hot days. This process, called ventilation, also helps keep the air fresh and the temperature just right for raising babies and making honey. Not all bees are flying or making honey. Some are on patrol. Guard bees watch over the entrance of the hive, ready to defend it from danger. Whether it's a hungry animal or a sneaky intruder bee, these guards are brave and strong, always protecting their bee family. The hive works like one big team. When all the bees do their part, whether they're foraging, fanning, guarding, or caring for babies, the whole colony survives and thrives.
But bees don't just help themselves. By pollinating flowers and crops, bees also help feed animals, birds, and us. From apples to almonds, many of our favorite foods exist because of bees. Sadly, bees are facing serious problems. One of the biggest dangers comes from pesticides, chemicals sprayed on plants to kill bugs. These chemicals can make bees sick or even kill them. Other threats include climate change, which affects flowers and seasons, loss of habitats as cities and roads take over natural spaces, diseases that spread through hives and make bees weak. The good news? People around the world are working hard to protect bees. Beekeepers raise healthy hives and watch over the bees. Farmers plant flowers and bushes that bees love. Even kids like you can help by planting flowers, avoiding harmful sprays, and learning more about bees. Every small act makes a big difference. By protecting bees, we protect the food we eat, the flowers we love, and the balance of nature. So, the next time you see a bee buzzing by, remember that tiny insect is doing something big for the world. Let's all do our part to keep bees safe, healthy, and buzzing for generations to come. And doesn't that sound sweet? Stay tuned for more buzzing adventures right here on Cute Kids TV.